Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with allthingsbbq.com, and this is the easy Thanksgiving turkey. Well, Thanksgiving is one of, if not the biggest cooking holidays of our year. So Thanksgiving Day can get kind of hectic, from cooking those desserts and the sides and the proteins, even just to get in the house ready to have people over or traveling to see your family. So with all of that in mind, today I want to walk you through the process of doing a quick and easy Thanksgiving turkey cook that's going to allow you to wake up Thanksgiving morning stress-free, slice open that package of either your fresh or thawed bird, and have a bird on the table by the afternoon that you can really be proud of without sacrificing any of that quality or flavor. So let's start by talking turkey. What we have here is a 15-pound bird that was previously frozen. It's been thawed out. This is one that happened to have about 3.5% injection or solution to it, and that's really key. You want to keep that number low, as little affectation to this as possible so that you can control the flavor. Now, one of the things I'll tell you first of all is it comes with this little pop-out thermometer. Get rid of it. That's why we have digital thermometers. You are going to be able to monitor this much better with a digital readout. Now, we are going to keep this turkey whole because we're doing this easy, right? But there's just a small amount of trimming that we can do on this to get it ready, including taking off some big hunks of fat that we're not going to eat in the end. We can get rid of just a little bit of that excess skin at the top of the neck there. But for the most part, we're not going to do much to this bird. I'm going to make sure that everything's taken out of the inside. We've got a little bit of ice left in there. But this is fully thawed. I've taken out any of those organs, the neck. That's all stuff that you can use in gravy if you like, but we don't need it for our easy turkey. I'm going to go ahead and get any little feathers that might have been missed here. And then there's one last thing before we get to this next step. I just want to make sure that I get a little bit of separation between the skin and the meat here, because we want to be able to get some seasoning underneath the skin to really flavor, especially these breasts. So we'll start from the bottom. You want to be careful not to tear anything. We're just trying to get that separation so we can get some rub underneath there. All right. Now, while we're talking about the seasoning, we're gonna go ahead and talk brines and injections and stuff like that. Now, I told you we're gonna make this easy. So instead of taking several days to prepare this bird with a brine, be it dry or wet, today what we're gonna do is we're just gonna inject it with a very simple solution. Now, this is a little bit more work than doing nothing, but it pays off big on flavor, and there's not really much to it. We're gonna take some butter today, we're gonna mix it with some of our brine powder, and we're gonna pump that right into the meat of this bird, and that way juicy in flavor from the inside all the way to the out. So for this injection, we're gonna start with 1 cup or 2 sticks of unsalted butter, and we're gonna mix into that a 1/4 cup of our Butcher House brine. Now, this is really straightforward: salt, sugar, onion, garlic, a little bit of spice to it. It's a really base flavor, but that's what we need inside of our turkey here. So go ahead and give that a shake just to dissolve some of that salt in there, some of that sugar. And then we're gonna pump this right into the meat all throughout our turkey. We're using a pistol grip injector today. This does a good amount of quantity, and I feel like it's the most control. This is my favorite type of injector to use. Go ahead and tighten that up. And then we'll go ahead and start here in the breast meat. You can go right through the skin. We're gonna poke around, make a little pocket. You can see that plump up. The skin actually gives us one more layer of barrier to kind of hold all that liquid in there. But the great thing is the liquid that can't be held, or in this case, the liquid fat that can't be held in the muscle, comes back out to baste not only the skin on top, but the muscle underneath. So now that we've mostly got those breasts injected, we'll come over here now to the thighs and the legs. Just a little bit left in the bottom here. Hold that for me. What we don't inject, we'll go ahead and put on the outside of the skin. I'm gonna get a little bit in the wings here. Any spots we might have missed. And then like I said, right at the end, after we get this all seasoned up, we'll get a little bit of butter on the skin. So we're gonna be seasoning this bird with the Cattleman's Grill Ranchero seasoning. This is a fantastic seasoning for poultry. That's what it's designed for. It's very garlic forward, but it's got some unique herbs and spices in it, like some dill, some rosemary. And what we wanna do with this is we're gonna start underneath the skin. So again, careful not to tear that skin that we've separated from the meat, pulling that back. And you just about gotta flip this bird all the way upside down to get that seasoning all the way to the other side of the breast. We can go inside the cavity a little bit as well. If we can get to some of this leg meat, we'll do some of that. Yeah, let's see, right in here we can get access to that thigh meat. If you're having trouble seeing it, this separates pretty naturally once you find that seam. And then we're gonna do just a little bit of truss on this bird, not a full truss. Just, again, we're keeping it easy, but before we bring these legs together, let's go ahead and get some seasoning on the underside of those. We'll give ourselves a couple feet of twine here. And then we're just gonna bring the legs together, okay? One on top of the other. Tie it off. Now everything's in nice and tight, can cook evenly. And then the only other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna flip this around, tuck these wings back. That keeps them in close to the body, so everything's shaped really nicely. We're gonna cook our bird on a roasting rack today. We're just gonna utilize it now to go ahead and get the bottom side seasoned up a little bit. I'll go ahead and grab a little bit of that butter and brine mixture. This will work as a binder as well as like a nice little browning baste. And then we're just gonna give it a generous seasoning of the ranchero. Go ahead and flip this over. A little bit more of that butter brine. And ranchero. Now, the one last seasoning that you might consider is if you want to stuff something into the cavity. This is not necessarily going to make or break your bird, but it's a nice way to add some extra aromatics. So we've got some fresh herbs, we've got sage, we've got rosemary, we've got thyme, we've got some citrus. We're doing some lemon here. Do a little bit of orange. And then of course we've got some garlic. We just want to chop this down into pieces that we can manage to fit inside the body cavity. As far as the garlic goes, we're not gonna chop it up or anything. Let's just go ahead and smash it and get rid of the skins. So we'll go ahead and start loading this up. Just pack that full of our herbs and aromatics. Do a little touch up on the seasoning here. That looks good. So now one more thing before we get this over to the grill. We're gonna put down a base of some Mirepoix, some aromatics here. Because as this turkey cooks, we're gonna have all these drippings coming out of it that form a really great base for a gravy. So if we can help that, we might as well. We're doing 2 parts onion to 1 part celery and 1 part carrots. And then we're gonna throw a bunch of cloves of garlic, just crushed garlic in here. And then nestle this right back on top. Now if you don't have the rack, you can get away with just putting this right on the veggies, but the rack's really great for getting some of that air circulation around the bird for a nice even cook and even browning. Since we have just a little bit of this butter left over, we'll go ahead and put some on top. All right, that's it. This is ready for the grill. Today we're cooking on the Yoder Smokers YS640S pellet grill. And this is where we're gonna put some of the quick into the quick and easy turkey. We're cooking at 425 degrees today. That's a roasting temperature. That's great for getting a nice browning on the outside of the turkey, but of course, cooking hot also allows us to expedite the cooking process. Now, as far as pellets, you can use whatever pellets you like, but we're using hickory pellets today, and I'll tell you why. It may seem like a hickory is a little bit of an overkill for poultry. And when you're cooking in a pellet grill like we are today, that smoke is moving really fast at those high temperatures. So if you want to notice the smoke flavor, go with something like a hickory or a pecan or an oak over those lighter fruity flavors like apple or cherry, or just do whatever's in your heart. So this is gonna go right on the main cooking grate. Obviously we need all the vertical we can get, and we're gonna place it to the right. Now our firebox is right here. This is where it's hottest. We wanna keep it indirect, so we're gonna go off to the right side. And I'm gonna go ahead and add some chicken stock to our pan so that as we get these drippings coming out, it starts to mix with that chicken stock. And again, great for the gravy. So at this point, I'm just gonna set a timer for an hour so I can come out here and flip this around to make sure everything's browning evenly. Well, it's been an hour, so let's go ahead and turn this bird around and see how it's doing. We've got some good color going already, forming a nice bit of bark on the outside of that turkey. Look at all this just dripping juice down into those veggies. We're creating a great little base for our turkey gravy, turkey stock, whatever you want to do with that. Let's go ahead and turn this around. Looks like we're all good on liquid for right now, so we will keep an eye on that. While we're in here, I'm gonna go ahead and add a temperature probe to the breast, just the deepest part of that white meat, because that's gonna be the last thing to get done. And that'll be a good indicator for us of where we're at on our finishing temperature. Go ahead and set another timer. We're at 100 degrees right now. So let's do 30, 45 minutes to come back and check on it. So here we are, an hour and 45 minutes into the cook now. Man, we're getting some great browning on that opposite side. I kind of want a little bit more of that right here on top of the breast. So we're gonna rotate this just 45 degrees. I'm brushing up on my geometry here. Same kind of thing though, we're just gonna let it keep riding. Right now we're at 125 on the internal temperature in the breast. We're shooting for 155, so we're gonna let it ride. So we're right around 3 hours into this cook, and this bird is looking beautiful. Temperatures come up right where we want it. Let's take a look. So we've been monitoring this temperature, aiming for about 155 to 160. You can see if we go for the deepest part of the breast, right past that 155 mark. Down here in our thighs, we want these up more at like 175, 180. That's where they're really like their silkiest. 175 is the lowest I'm getting, so that's right where we want it to finish. So at this point, we're gonna take this thing off of here, let it rest for a bit before we slice into it. So we're coming off the roasting rack now to get a taste of our easy Thanksgiving turkey. We get a little taste of the light meat and the dark meat. Those veggies that are on the roasting pan with all the juices underneath them, you can strain that off, and that juice right there, that's that magic that you want to put into your turkey gravy. Oh my goodness. The juices are about to come spilling out of here. I'm just gonna take this thigh off first. We'll work right down to the joint, pop that, and it'll come right off. It's a good looking thigh. Go ahead and take off a breast as well. Slice down until we can peel that out of there. There we go. Now remember all that butter that we injected in here. That's where this should really pay off. No dried out white meat. Oh yeah, all the way right down to the center. Juice is just gathering when you give it a little squeeze. Wow. It smells awesome right now. Go ahead and separate this leg out from the thigh. That way, anyone that just wants to dig into that can. And then this thigh meat, we're just gonna shred up. Oh my gosh, guys, look at that. That's the beauty of that butter injection right there. And then again, just cooking to proper temperature is huge. I mean, this thigh meat went up to about 175, 180, which sounds high for poultry, but that's where that thigh likes to be. That's where it's really velvety, where it just starts to come apart. I mean, as you can see, we certainly didn't lose any moisture by taking it up that high. It's this breast meat that you really got to be careful about, making sure that that stuff only cooks to about 160, 155 to 160, and you're going to have juice like that every time. Let's have a taste. I'm going to start with the white, with some of that skin. Oh my goodness. This makes me ready for Thanksgiving. So much flavor. I mean, just a simple rub, and then a brine butter mixture injected in there. Unbelievable. There is flavor from the outside to the center. That's what we're looking for. Now we're gonna hit that thigh meat. Just shreds in your mouth. Again, lots of flavor. Incredibly simple considering the process, the timeline. You really can wake up Thanksgiving morning and have one of the best turkeys you've ever cooked within a handful of hours. Now before we wrap this up, I gotta say, don't just toss these veggies out when you go to strain off all of that liquid. This may seem like a strange snack. It's one of the best onions you'll ever taste. It's completely soaked up all of that turkey juice. There's so much flavor in there and it just melts in your mouth. You'll be picking at that while you're straining it off, I promise. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to allthingsbbq, every year we do these turkey kits. We put everything together in one kit so you can click it, have it shipped to your house, and make this process just as easy as possible. So be sure to check out allthingsbbq.com for this easy Thanksgiving turkey kit. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to allthingsbbq.com/thesauce. All Things Barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.